It is 8:30 on a Monday morning, a cold but sunny Monday morning in Athens, Greece. That would make it 8:30 in Kiev and 9:30 in Moscow. And I thought I would do a short video update as to what's going on in the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. And I did two videos yesterday, so I don't really have that much to report today, but I do have some interesting topics that I want to relay to everybody, some interesting news. The first thing that I want to say is that there was a briefing by the Russian Ministry of Defense for March 20th, 8 o'clock Moscow time, and I want to make sure I get the quote right. The Russian Ministry of Defense said that units of the Russian armed forces are completing the defeat of the nationalist battalion Donbass. And so this is big news because this was a statement coming out of the Russian Ministry of Defense. It doesn't really say much other than that. It doesn't expand on that. But the Ministry of Defense is making it clear that they are, for what it looks like, they're wrapping up, or they feel certain of the situation in the Donbass. And I imagine that would include Mariupol. That would include the Ukraine military that is trapped in the cauldron, or trying to retreat out of that encirclement in the Donbass area. And I think it falls in line with the activity that we have been seeing in and around the outskirts of Kiev. Some activity in and around ODYSEE, though not much, but more importantly, some of the missile strike activity that we've been seeing in the West. So, as I said in a video like a couple of days ago, that Russia does seem to be moving on to the second phase of this operation now that the east is being wrapped up. Mariupol, once again, the city center is being mopped up of the Azov guys that they were really deeply entrenched and they fought hard. But all the reports are signaling that Mariupol is neighborhood by neighborhood, apartment by apartment is being cleared out. And, in the Donbass, we're getting lots of reports of major progress being made by the Donbass militia, Donetsk and Lugansk. And these militias are making big progress. They're capturing village after village, town after town of the east of Ukraine. And so this statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense, I think, is significant. The Ministry of Defense would not be coming out with a statement like this if they didn't feel like the situation was starting to wrap up or to be very, very stable in the east, so that I believe they'll start shifting focus. And once again, as they shift focus to the second phase of operations, which no one really knows what it is, negotiations are going to continue. Once again, the military operation with negotiations working side by side, hand in hand, to achieve the goal of according to the Russians, demilitarization and denazification. And I think the demilitarization, getting rid of all the NATO presence in Ukraine and all the NATO weapons and training facilities, I think that's moving along as planned. That's the way it looks on my end. So I wanted to get that news out to everybody. There is some other news, and I just can't confirm it. And I don't know if I want to throw it out to everybody, but it's coming from the Russian side. It may be Russian propaganda, so I'll just throw it out there. There are rumors that there's some news that there's a battalion outside of Kiev that has surrendered as well to the Russian armed forces on the outskirts, which would be huge news. I don't know. I can't confirm that. I'm just throwing it out there. It could be completely bogus. It could be not true. But if it is true, then it would signal what we are seeing, which is a general collapse in the military situation in Ukraine. And it's coming. It's coming, I believe. When it's going to come, I don't know if it's going to be in a week, in 2 weeks. But the Russians have isolated the Kiev forces in four or five different encirclements. I don't understand how they're communicating. I don't understand how they're pulling off any of the logistics that are needed to fight or to to engage in some sort of retaliation or counteroffensive. I just don't see it. But I think the situation is once again day by day clearing up. And as we have these military outcomes, we have the negotiation taking place. There's going to be another round of video negotiations, I believe, taking place today as well. So we'll see what the outcome of those are. Zelensky did come out with a statement. He gave an interview to CNN's, I forgot that, his name, Zacharia, I think is his name, Zacharia. And he was the guy that said when Trump launched missiles against Syria because of the fake false flag chemical incident, he was the one that said, now Trump is the true president of the United States. So he was really, really happy about the prospects of the United States getting involved in a war. He's a warmonger. He's a neocon warmonger. But he interviewed Zelensky, and Zelensky said that there is no way he would be able to accept any changes in territory as they negotiate. Effectively, he can't accept the terms of recognizing Crimea, and he can't accept the terms of Donetsk and Lugansk independent. Well, as this offensive continues to progress, Zelensky is going to have to, in my opinion, accept bigger territorial gains from the Russians. I mean, we're looking at Kherson, the entire coastline of the Sea of Azov. Possibly we may be looking at Odessa, all the way to Odessa. Who knows? But the fact that Zelensky's not accepting these terms now means that as the weeks progress, he's going to have to accept even worse and worse terms because the Russians are going for a surrender. They're going for a surrender. They don't want to take Zelensky out. They don't want to decimate and destroy Ukraine. They want to capture Ukraine, and they want Zelensky to surrender and to accept those terms. So that's the situation on the ground. A little bit of an update. The other thing that I want to talk about is the news that the U.S. is pressuring Turkey, or they're working with Turkey, so that Turkey can supply their S400s that they purchased from Russia. This is big news that they purchased the S400s. They want Turkey to give those S400s to Ukraine, and in exchange for giving those S400s, the missile system, the Russian missile system, the top-class Russian system to Ukraine, they will remove the sanctions on Turkey with regards to the F-35 fighter jets. And so that's the trade-off. That's the deal that the Americans are putting in front of Erdogan and Turkey. And I don't have news whether Turkey's going to accept or not. But, Turkey's playing an interesting game. They're playing off the Russians, the Chinese, off against the Europeans and the Americans. They're trying to act as negotiators as well between Ukraine and Russia. And now you have this news that they're getting pressure to give over the S-400 system to Ukraine in order to remove the sanctions of the F-35 fighter jets, the parts and all of these sanctions that they placed on Turkey. The sanctions were placed on Turkey with regards to the F-35s because Turkey went ahead and purchased the S-400. So this happened like last year. Turkey went ahead. They purchased the S-400 from the Russians. The U.S. and NATO said, don't you dare do it. If you do it, we're going to put sanctions on you. Turkey went ahead and did it anyway. The U.S. put sanctions on Turkey, which is a NATO member as well. They put sanctions on Turkey. They made it specific to the F-35, and it didn't faze Turkey. They went ahead and they continued with the purchase of the S-400. Now you're getting the news that the deal for Turkey is we'll remove those sanctions if you give over those S-400s to Ukraine. The Americans are, the Biden White House, they're exhausting all the options that they possibly can exhaust in order to figure out a way to prolong this conflict. They're trying with India, they're trying with China. Now they're putting this deal in front of Erdogan and Turkey. It's pure desperation, but it'll be interesting to see what Turkey does. Erdogan is unpredictable. If he were to do this, then Putin and the Russians are not going to take kindly to it. We'll see. Will it change the outcome? No, it's not going to change the outcome. What it will do is it'll most likely prolong the conflict, which is what NATO and the Biden White House and the EU want. But it's not going to change the outcome. That's for sure. Anyway, there's the news about Turkey that I wanted to get to everybody. There's a lot of articles and a lot of analysis about how Russia, China, and India are working together to transact in their local currencies. That's progressing. So no matter how much pressure has been put on India and China to ditch Russia, it's actually having the reverse effect. And you're getting more and more news about how they're actively working together, Russia, China, and India. And that's significant. India and China, they're all working together to figure out a way to do business in local currencies. I imagine they're going to do business together, and everything's going to be settled with some sort of RMB swap taking place or exchange taking place. That would be my guess. But anyway, the pressure on India and China is failing, and it looks like those countries are just going to move ahead and buy what Russia has, because what Russia has, every country needs: fertilizer, oil, gas, metals, wheat. What Russia has, every country needs. We don't really need Gucci and Prada and Nike and Adidas to survive, but we do need fertilizer and wheat and titanium and nickel and palladium and gas and oil in order to survive. And that'll lead me to my final story. And I'm going to walk now I'm gonna find a coffee shop here and edit this video. I'm right now at a small little park. This park was renovated recently, and it's a park by a metro station, by a hospital, a popular metro station in downtown Athens, by one of the big hospitals in the area. And the final story that I want to get to actually deals with the fact that Russia has things that we need, and there's going to be a lot of suffering that's going to take place because of all these sanctions and these embargoes. And that has to do with protests in Spain and in Greece, and I believe Germany as well. But in Spain, you had 150,000 farmers and people who work in the agriculture sector and other sectors as well, who protested in the streets of Madrid, 150,000, to protest the rising price in fertilizer, the rising price in oil and gas and all commodities because of the Russian sanctions. 150,000 people in Spain, in Madrid, turned out for those protests. They are upset. They're saying that they just can't continue. The prices, the inflation, it's just too high. It is simply too high, and they just can't live. They can't make money. They can't live. And then you had protests in Greece, smaller protests of farmers. Once again, the same narrative. Fertilizer, gas, oil, energy, inflation, the costs are becoming unbearable. And we're just at the beginning. This is the scary part, is we still have not seen the Russians retaliate. We still have not seen the retaliation of the Russians because of the sanctions. All we've seen is the boomerang effect of the sanctions placed by the EU and by the United States, and how it's boomeranged against them, against their own population. Not that I think they care about their population, the EU technocrats and the Biden White House, but we're just seeing the boomerang effect. So we're just at the beginning of this, but big protests, especially in Spain, and smaller protests in Greece. And I do believe in Germany as well. Anyone in Germany, let me know if there were protests. I think there were. But anyway, that's the video, guys. Check out Alexander's channel. Check out the Duran channel, theduran.locals.com. Say hello to the pigeons. The Russian pigeons. The Greek pigeons, actually. The Russian pigeons aren't allowed here. They've been sanctioned. And I will leave it there, everybody. Take care.